What is going on, guys? It is Zigzag here. Welcome back to another Geoguessr video. Today I have an exciting collab. I'm playing with Bengal, who is mostly known for his American football videos, but also stoops down and plays some Geoguessr every now and again. And so he and I today will be playing some drawing Geoguessr, where we've each drawn each other rounds. And so one video is on my channel here, one video is on his, but I'm going to be looking at his rounds, such as this one that he drew for me, and I'm going to have to try and guess where in the world they are. After that, then I'm going to be challenging him to a blind Geoguessr map, so a bit of a two-parter here. Hopefully you guys stick around and watch it because it's really entertaining. We had a great time. Also, guys, the challenge links will be in the description if you want to see if you can beat me with the actual rounds instead of the artwork. Why don't you give yourself an introduction, Bengal?
Hi, I'm Bengal. I am a novice Geo player, and I am blessed to be in the presence of a true pro.
Oh, too flattering for the intro, but it's gonna be really fun. I'm really liking the look of the first one. It's quite beautiful, really. So
Thank you.
I think we get straight into things here, and I'll just run through what I'm thinking on the first round here. So
A very different art style than yours, but I think I prefer yours, to be honest. I think mine is a little bit all over the place.
I think I prefer yours, so that's good. That's good, honestly.
That's very kind.
So definitely a tropical kind of climate going on here, I would say. It kind of appears that we might be driving left rather than right, although it is kind of hard to tell. So I wouldn't put all my eggs into that basket, so to speak. But yeah. And then, so like some banana plants here, I would say, or palms right to our right. And then as for, we got like a little hut here, also kind of feeling Southeast Asian. So at this point, I am kind of leaning Indonesia, possibly somewhere in South America, possibly Philippines or even Malaysia as well. So that's kind of my thoughts at this stage. Is there anything I should know about this one, or am I pretty much picking up everything?
No, I think you kind of took everything that I had intended to be seen. And
right.
I think you did a good job diagnosing it, and I would say that does appear to be a motorbike headlight potentially.
Yeah. Okay.
As well.
Yeah. So yeah. That's how I interpreted it. And so I do think left-hand drive, and therefore I am thinking probably most of Indonesia here. So now I'm going to pull up my map, and I'm going to be thinking about where we got like a really white road. So I was thinking maybe Java or Sumatra for that reason. But Borneo also seems quite possible here. A dirt road, okay? So yeah, maybe just central Java here. Looking back at the artwork there, we did have hills. We certainly have hills here, no doubt about that. And the soil is quite brown. And that would make sense because you do have kind of like volcanic soil sometimes, maybe in kind of more eastern Java here. So I think that's what I'm gonna go for. Just kind of like central eastern Java around Surakarta. Okay, so let's see what it actually looks like here.
I'll tell you, I think it's gonna be pretty close.
Okay, so happy with what I see. The corrugated iron roofs. And this kind of like stone ditch also feels quite Indonesian as well. Wouldn't be surprised if it was Java or Borneo here, maybe even Sulawesi, but yeah. I'm happy with Indo at least, and so I said around Surakarta here. So let's check it out, shall we?
Yeah, very cool spot, by the way.
Oh wow, Timor! I was not expecting Timor. Wow.
Yeah, I have no idea what that place looks like.
So Timor generally is very dry, and so that was surprisingly green for Timor, I'd say. But I guess we're like in the center of all these rivers, which kind of makes sense.
Wow, yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, so that was definitely a cool round. So I won't hit play next round just yet because I'm going to get the second artwork here. Rightio. Okay, so here we go with the next round, guys. This one, the big clue has to be these outside dashes, and I think you've even outdone yourself. I think this is even a better illustration than the first one. I really quite enjoy it. So yeah. So the tree color is definitely going to help here. So we got like a more reddish, maybe Scots pines looking kind of trees over here, and then these ones might be birch or might just be kind of like some kind of evergreen kind of looking tree like that over here. And it feels a little hilly, although it's hard to interpret what this might be. Maybe it is decently hilly. So for that reason, I mean, there are many countries with short dashes, but I'm kind of ruling out the Baltics here because it does feel like this actually might involve some kind of like a drop off here and in the distance some kind of hill. I don't think these are long dashes, so I don't think Norway, although it's still possible. And so I'm thinking Sweden here, somewhere it gets a little hillier. I think it's about all I have to say here. Like it's not the most complicated round, kind of just forest plus the road lines. So I was thinking of guessing maybe like somewhere over here, maybe. Kind of central Sweden gets a little hillier. So maybe there. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna go
I'll
right
tell you,
there.
I don't remember if it is a hill or not.
Right.
It could have just been like filling in space.
Right.
To be honest.
Yeah, I could definitely.
So,
I mean,
we'll
like,
see.
that's definitely fair enough. I mean, I still think it should be Sweden, maybe just further south if it's not a hill. But yeah, still feeling good about Sweden. Potentially like Estonia if it's not a hill. But let's check it out inside the actual round here. And so, yeah, it's Sweden. It's Sweden.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily a hill, although I can see it's definitely not completely flat. It's kind of like just typical rolling hills in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
But as for my latitude, I don't think it's terrible either. So let's see where I actually went here. So right near the Sweden, like south of Strömsund. So let's go there. And that was around, where was Strömsund? Actually shows up in a different spot here. So around here is where I clicked. And fairly happy. So let's see. Oh, it was southern. It was southern. Okay, so nice. Bengal is still beating me here, but we'll see if I can come back.
My round 4 and 5 drop off, scoring 0 back-to-back rounds, I think could net you the victory.
Okay. We'll hopefully it will.
Maybe next time I'll play out the entire round.
Yeah, certainly. Okay, so here we are with round 3. This one is kind of more unique looking, I would say, than the last two. So we got the double yellows, so somewhere in the Americas feeling immediately likely. And then we also have what appears to be like a wooden pole here. It does have the appearance of being more wooden than concrete, I would say. So then, USA, Mexico are my main contenders for this one, I would say, with the dryness, but also a bit of green on the side of the road. But then also, like, and the hilliness as well. Then also just other South American countries certainly possible here as well. But I do think it's somewhere in the Americas. And so, where actually to go here is which of the countries is actually more likely? I think I might be leaning more Mexico here than US, but I'm also kind of thinking of guessing near the border in order for some kind of a hedge here. A lot of palms actually. So maybe Mexico is more likely, just somewhere in the desert though. I think these ones are meant to be palms.
Yeah, they are.
Good.
They're the ones on the right are not just, well, they are poorly drawn, but they're not just poorly drawn. They're meant to be like stubbier and smaller.
Right. Yeah,
They don't have that long base.
Yeah, got you. Okay, so I think maybe like somewhere near the Arizona border, Baja California is possible. Otherwise, like, I don't think it gives me a massively, like, Peruvian or Argentinian vibe. Although Argentina is a maybe possible. But with the hills and everything, I am liking US/Mexico here. So I could even guess US side of the border here. Or near Mexicali, Tijuana kind of area. Go here. So I'm gonna go here near Santa Ana. Just south of Santa Ana. So let's check out what the actual round look like, shall we?
Yeah, you're gonna be upset with me.
So let me think now. Is this Brazil, actually? I'm trying to think. I think it's, or am I tripping? Where is this going to be? It's either Mexico or Brazil, I think, though.
Yeah, I think it was tough to illustrate, like, the greenness with the dryness.
Yeah.
I tried to, but yeah, it was certainly a challenge artistically.
Oh yeah. This one is a challenging round artistically. Yeah. I'm actually still not sure where it is.
I think I guessed northern or northeast Brazil here.
Yeah.
I think that's where I guessed.
Okay, so let's see where it is in regard to Santa Ana here, which was over here. I don't think it's right. Yeah, it was Brazil. That's what it struck me as when I saw it, but from the artwork, I mean, it's tough because Brazil is normally not that dry.
Round,
yeah. So immediately wasn't exactly thinking of that, but looking back on it, now I see it, now I definitely see it. So it was by no means a bad artwork. I think it was a pretty good artwork.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly far from perfect, but I don't know. It is tough to illustrate everything that like you want to illustrate
for sure,
in a round like that, especially like an unusual round, because that's not what like a typical Brazil would look like.
Yeah.
And that pole was just far enough that it was kind of tough to give it a lot of detail, because while I did think it was going to be a waffle, style poll.
Yeah.
Because it's Brazil.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, me neither.
NMTZ, that's what that was.
Even
so.
looking at it, when I had the round, I couldn't tell either. So yeah, that's perfectly reasonable, by all means. So now I am trailing you by 5,000 points. So it actually is kind of a challenge to see if I can get above you here, even with your last 2 throwing guesses. But yeah, we definitely have unique, like, buildings and pole here. Okay, so as for the pole, concrete and square. But as for the climate, kind of dirt road, very green, wooden houses potentially with hills in the background. So obviously when you see a pole like this, your mind does come to Thailand, but I don't think anything else about the round seems Thai at all. Then one sees a pole like this and thinks maybe Chile or maybe Russia with these square concrete poles. So that's kind of my 2 thoughts at the moment. So if I was thinking, so yeah, kind of got like this kind of yellowish stuff on the hill, but then a dark green hill over here as well. So my 2 kind of thoughts for regions are kind of like maybe like near Puerto Montt here. And then also as for Russia, where'd you see more dirt roads? Like maybe just around Moscow or something in Russia, or maybe a bit south of Moscow around here in Russia. So let's take one more look at it.
I will say that that's supposed to be like gravel. Is kind of
Yeah.
those dots are.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted it, and I do think gravel you would be more likely to see in Chile, perhaps. So I think that's where I'm leaning at this stage. Everything does feel rather Chilean about the round, and with the holes in the top of the pole, I think that would make sense too. Architecture, yeah, I feel like it could be Russian, but feels more Chilean. Everything just makes me lean a little bit further that direction. Maybe apart from the lamppost, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, as for this one, I think I will go somewhere near Puerto Montt here, and so dirt road coverage could be anywhere around here. I'm gonna go just like north of Puerto Montt in the town, north of Puerto Montt here. So hopefully it's not a bad call. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, I think I'm right.
I think you're gonna be quite pleased. I do.
I think I am right. These houses look way more Chilean than they do Russian, and the kind of green grass also makes me think I'm pretty close here. So let us guess in Puerto Vargas. Ooh, let's go. That is a good guess. That is a good guess. Well illustrated there.
No, that's a tough one. I think that's I mean, you nailed it easily, but I think that's a tough Chilean round to get.
Yeah. I mean, the houses that you illustrated definitely gave me a Chile vibe, and then the dirt road coverage as well. It's just only some countries do the dirt road coverage, so yeah, made it easier as well for sure. So good job on drawing the gravel, because that really helped me out.
Oh, I'm quite pleased with that, and I think if there was any doubt you were going to score higher than me with the 2 ocean throws, I think this next round will certainly push you over the top. I would bet anything.
Okay, so I should get the right continent here at least and get above him. But okay, let's see. Let's see what it is.
I would be surprised if you didn't narrow it down to 2 countries.
Okay, yes, I see what you're saying now, Bengal. So we do have what appears to be maybe some Spanish here, but more so what I was looking at is that we have these yellow road lines with the whites in the center, and of course, let's just run through quickly to recap what countries that can be. Uruguay, New Zealand, sometimes in Philippines. I think there's another country, maybe sometimes in Finland as well. But yes, with the Spanish, we should be looking at Argentina and Uruguay here. And looking back at the illustration, it appears that we have white poles on the on these yellow signs, which is more common in Uruguay easily. And the houses are kind of feeling Uruguayan as well, rolling landscape, so maybe thinking southern, unless this has somehow gotten distorted otherwise, not really sure. But with the rolling landscape, I think probably more likely to be somewhere near Montevideo, I would say. So around here you get kind of some hills, otherwise maybe in the north of the country as well sometimes. So that's my main thoughts here. So now, I guess, I'll just check out the sign. So I don't know how to pronounce Spanish words, but something like that.
Yeah, it looks like MACYFS, which I don't know to be any type of Spanish word.
Right.
So,
I mean, so presumably an acronym or maybe just something local.
Some type of name for it's tough to say.
But I do see similar looking names around the spot, so I'm feeling pretty good about just kind of an east of Montevideo round here. Okay, so let's guess it. Okay. Yes. Feeling pretty good about that. Pretty good about that. Yeah, these signposts are indeed Uruguayan, and so is this trident here. So that's a Uruguayan pole as well. Feeling very good about this, honestly. Although looking at the round itself, I might go the other side of Montevideo, but I mean, hey, I might be.
I think that's gonna be a good bet.
Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah. So there we go. But we end up with a 14,600, which I'm super happy with, honestly.
That's quite a score.
Yeah. And so we got the right country 1, 2, 3, 4 times out of 5, and the Mexico Brazil toss-up was a really difficult one. So I'm happy with that overall for sure.
Yeah, that was impressive to watch. When you started talking about the Chile round, I'm like, oh, okay. I knew you were good, but that was really impressive.
Too kind, thank you. The Sweden though, maybe should have gone further south. But
well, you thought it was like a large mountain, which makes sense why you go kind of closer where it's mountainous.
Yeah, true.
Norway.
True. But also part of the skill of that kind of game is trying to see, like, interpret what the artist is actually trying to say. So, you know, there's also that aspect of it. Okay, so now we're going to do a round of blind Geoguessr, and we're going to see how well Bengal can do. So, go stick around for this. We're putting our boy on trial here, and I'm going to try and give the best possible description I can.
I'm out of the stream, and this is where I really come out as a fraud.
Right. All right. So, we do have here a road made of concrete. And it's like concrete in 2 main sections along like a kind of highway road. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
We have lots of palms. We have a we have a telephone pole, but I'm not actually sure what material it's made of. Could be wood, could be concrete. We have hills. So I would say maybe I'm not really sure in feet, but I would say they're like maybe a couple of 100 meters tall.
Okay. It sounds like quite Southeast Asian to me already, but I guess South America also is a possibility, but I think lean more towards Southeast Asia. Can we tell driving side?
From the clues in the round, I don't think we can. No.
Okay.
We can see like a really green field here. I think on the telephone pole and on a tree here, there are political posters.
Okay.
And we also see a lot of corrugated iron roofs. In fact, every single house I can see has a corrugated iron roof.
Okay, I do like the Philippines here quite a lot. I guess Indonesia is a possibility.
Well, that's about it, I would say, for the description. I mean, we have like the road lines are very faded, so it's kind of hard to tell. We kind of got like an orangey yellow in the center, and then yellowish, whitish kind of road lines on the outside as well. But it's very faded. Yeah, that's about it, I would say, for the round. You pretty much got all the information you need there, I reckon.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just like hedge Panay in the Philippines.
All right,
I think that's. I'm gonna be upset here. Let's see.
All right, so join the stream.
I am. Oh, interesting.
So I think you're pretty good here. That's about where I'd put it, honestly. Maybe a bit further north, but Philippines should be correct, I think.
Yeah, this is like somewhat of what I had in my head. But yeah, I think I like that.
It's interesting how we had a eucalyptus tree here, or some kind of eucalypt going on here. You can kind of tell by the leaves, I think. So that's kind of not what you'd expect, but let's see. Yeah, further south, actually, rather than further north. So your guess is better than mine. Nice.
Not too bad. This is a decent start.
Yeah, it's a very decent start. We can get 20k. We can get 20k on this, I reckon.
I'm going to do my best.
Right, you out of the stream?
Hold on. Like, yes, but also I don't want to see any type of thumbnail as well. All right,
gotcha.
Go ahead.
Let's go. And so this one, all white road lines.
White outside lines, or they're white middle lines?
White outers, white dashed inner line. We are on a bridge here. It feels like a fairly kind of temperate, like moderate climate. Not too hot, not too cold. You feel me? We are on... So the bridge is kind of surrounded by concrete blocks on either side, which are painted white and black, alternating. Not in the way you'd see like a curb, but they're kind of like bigger concrete blocks, which is, you know, I don't know, not necessarily like a clue for a country, but just kind of interesting. We are driving right hand side of the road. In the distance, we can see a white bollard with a black stripe through the middle, although it's very distant, so I can't give you any more detail than that.
Okay.
We have a forest in the distance, but where we're standing, we can see a lot of kind of grass fields as well. And the buildings are kind of like white and brown with like brown roofs, but they're also quite distant. They're mostly one story, a couple of two stories, but they're quite distant, so it's actually kind of hard to tell what exactly they look like. Because we're on the bridge, so it's kind of everything else is quite distant from us.
Interesting.
We because it's quite a sparse round, I could give you the car as well, but if you don't want it, I could. We can also go with that. Yep. And then and then the last detail I'll mention mainly is that the kind of grass in the background, it could just be to do with the season that it's taken in, but it is quite like dry, kind of brownish looking grass, whereas the trees are quite green.
You know, I was kind of thinking like, I'm going to totally have the wrong kind of image in my head, but is it flat?
It's it's quite flat. It's quite flat. Not completely, but quite.
Interesting. See, I'm sure actually looking at it, it's probably quite easy to figure out, but I don't even know a continent for sure here. I think it's more likely to be Europe based on my understanding of the description. The brown and white houses, can you describe those anymore? I know they might be quite far.
Yeah. So the roofs are kind of, they're not very steep, they're kind of more slanted. It is hard to give. Don't put too much weight on the houses, is what I'll say, because they are so distant that I couldn't really give you a fantastic description. You'll see what I mean when you see the round. Yeah. Although they're also probably behind my webcam for the viewers at home as well.
What are the details that stand out to you the most about this place?
Yeah, I guess the kind of like the road is kind of like a bit lower quality. I would say. I don't know. It's kind of like a very generic round, I would say. But yeah, all the all white road lines and the kind of concrete blocks that are painted black and white alternating is kind of, you know, a standout detail, I guess, if you're describing it like I am.
Okay. I'm thinking it's likely to be somewhere across like the stretch that includes like Romania, Hungary, Czechia, all in kind of a diagonal line on the map. Is it? I see. I know the blocks have to be some sort of a thing. I think Romania is more likely to paint stuff, but I don't. It doesn't. I'm not really getting Romania feel based off of how I understand the description to be. I think I'm gonna go Hungary here. I think that's gonna be what I like. I think I would go just in the middle, near. Oh man, I'm gonna screw this up pretty bad. I don't even want to try. Let's find something. Yeah. I would like to go there.
All right. Let's go for that. And now come check it out.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, so it should be Russia here, I imagine. But kind of a difficult one to describe, as you can see.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're like I was thinking like blocks in my head. They're like concrete like dividers or something.
Yeah.
I don't know that I've really seen those too often.
No, I don't think I have either.
This one would be a tough round for me just looking at it, to be honest.
Right. I mean, and yeah, the houses kind of just look normal. There's not really too much to say about them. All right, so let's see how far away we are. Shouldn't be too far. Yeah, about as close as we can get in Russia, at least.
Not too bad, I would say, overall.
Not terrible.
I probably would have guessed somewhere in that region. I guess. Well, I'm not sure how much you influenced me with Russia, but I would have gone in that. I don't know what to call that strip above the Caucasus.
Yeah,
but they're significantly above them. So.
Right. Yeah.
I think I would have had a decent guess, but I think you saying Russia, I think that's where I would have guessed in Russia.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't know if I go Russia there without you saying it was Russia.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be a tough round, that one. I feel like we got a little unlucky with a tough Russia on a bridge.
Okay, that's not horrible.
Like, it's not at all.
Pole or something like that, but you know. Especially even if I knew it was Russia, I mean, depending on the description, I could go I mean, I would probably just hedge Moscow. I probably would have, like, I want to say equidistant, but something.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
All right, so and right latitude, that's always nice as well. All right, so you ready for the next?
Sure am.
Heading into the next round here. Okay, this one's urban. We have a Latin alphabet script. We have a stop signs that's set up for right-hand drive. Okay.
Okay. Now, does the stop sign say stop? Can you tell me that?
It does not say stop. It does not say stop.
Okay, that could be quite helpful.
Yeah. It does not say stop. I see one particular concrete pole here that's painted white all the way to the bottom, as far as I can tell.
The whole thing's painted white.
No, I mean like the last maybe quarter.
Just
of
like
it at
the
bottom.
lower fifth. Okay.
Yeah, the lower fifth. That's right. So a lot of the buildings are kind of brightly painted here. So there's a building here that's yellow and red, and there's one that's blue and purple and green. So pretty much covering everything here. So we have like on the ground we have like a hexagonal tiling.
Oh, interesting.
And then the footpath is also like mosaic style. On both sides, it has like a different pattern mosaic style footpath, which is interesting.
Do we have any bollards?
No bollards because we're right in the middle of a town here.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Because it's quite urban.
Yeah, quite urban. As for the number plates, appear to maybe be a bit longer than shorter, I would say, but they're quite blurred, so it's hard to tell. I think we have like a C letter with a hook underneath it as well. If that means anything to you. We have like a lot of air conditioning units set up on these houses. Maybe, I mean, I can't see any vegetation at all, but might lead us to believe it's a bit more of a warmer climate here as well. And then like one motorcyclist, but mostly cars.
How's the general feel of it? Does it feel like, I can't say, does it feel coastal, but interesting. I'm trying to find a way to phrase it that isn't like giving anything away.
I'll give you this. It kind of feels like a potential coastal vibe, but I wouldn't commit you one way or the other.
Yeah. Because I can't say like, oh, does it feel like more rural? Because I know we're in an urban setting.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I was thinking America's kind of all the way there in some capacity. You know, at times I thought, okay, this could be like a Mexico or a Guatemala. But I think I'm definitely thinking Brazil here. I thought even like Bolivia for a minute because of the tiling on the road.
Yeah. It is the same one that you see there. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that at least somewhere in Bolivia. And this pole with the white paint on it. Yeah. Can you describe that to any more detail?
It's a little too far to exactly tell, but I don't think it's section pole. But yeah, painted white at the bottom, concrete. Has I mean it's fairly generic looking, maybe round.
Can you tell if there are mountains?
It seems flat. But I can only because I've got buildings on all sides. Like they could easily be a mountain to my east or my west. I can only see north is flat.
Man, see, I'd like to. How tall are the buildings?
2 stories to 3 stories, basically all around us in this town. Yeah.
I feel it's pretty large.
Yeah. We must be near the center of the town. It looks like we're right next to Main Street here.
I think I'm thinking Brazil here. I think I have to be. But where in Brazil? I mean, I think I have to think more like southeast here as opposed to north, but it certainly could be north. It's tough to tell. Brazil is one of those places where if it's north, I feel like you can just kind of you feel it out. I can't describe it. I can't put my finger on why. Just kind of you feel it. Yeah, and I think you might be seeing the taller buildings more typically in some of those northern cities, at least in my experience. But I'm sure they're in the south as well, in like Sao Paulo, Rio, Brasilia. certainly are. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and throw down a hedge here,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go Sao Paulo,
Sao Paulo?
Brazil.
All right. So come and look at the round then.
Okay, interesting.
So I was thinking, I mean, I think Brazil is almost certainly correct with the language here, but I was probably thinking more northern, but I guess southern is still possible because we can't really see what the vegetation is like here.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I feel like to do well regionally.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see north here. I'm not upset with my guess. I don't think it's Sao Paulo per se, but
Yeah,
I think it could be at least somewhat close. Brazil is tough to
Yeah.
score well in because
It
it's
is.
so large, as you know.
It
So we'll
certainly is.
see.
Yeah, I even think like it could be like a strange Amazon round somehow. It's possible, but let's find out, shall we? All right, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all.
Oof. That was a nerve-wracking one because it could have been so bad.
Yeah,
Especially if
yeah.
that was north and I do less than 1,500 points.
Yeah, I think I probably would have guessed around here. So again, that's like probably better than what I would have gone for myself, I think. So very impressive.
I mean, how much of this is luck? I think a decent bit of it.
True, but I mean, we take him. That's a really nice guess for Brazil's standards. 3.1k. All right, so next one.
Mm-hmm.
Round 4 here. Okay, interesting one here. So, we are like on a concrete road with yellow center dashes and no outside lines. We have what appear to be wooden poles here, and one of these wooden poles has like a supporting wire that has a yellow sleeve at the bottom. On the road, there's like a lot of tarmac sealing, like when there's a crack and they do like those black seal.
Oh, yeah.
Asphalt seals. I don't even know what that's called, but
Yeah, I know what you mean though. It's it's tar.
Yeah, that tar, yeah, exactly. And so we have also we're dead flat. We have like we're kind of like the road kind of goes through like some small lakes here, some really low lying lakes. We're in some farmland, but I can't tell what's being farmed. It might be wheat, but also kind of hard to tell. There are two like highway shield kind of things facing away from us. Two of them are pentagons and two of them are squares on those signposts. It feels like the climate's very temperate, but I can't quite tell how cold or warm it is. And we have trees in the background, but mostly bare. Like, I can probably see a small forest in the distance, but most of the round is no trees. And that's about it, I would say.
Yeah, I like Iowa here.
Okay.
It just kind of sounds like Iowa in the United States. I mean, it certainly, I think, could be Canada, but I think it's like Illinois, Indiana, Iowa. Based on like the lack of trees and the flatness, I think those states are more likely. I'm not ready to commit yet. I think Pennsylvania would probably look a little bit different. It could be Pennsylvania or Delaware or Ohio for any of those reasons.
I don't really see any buildings either. I mean, like I see them in a distance that's way too hard to give you even a single detail about them. Very rural area, that's for sure, though.
What can I ask? Because I'm trying to rule out 100% Canada here. Because I think it could be. Like I'm not going to rule out the possibility. I think it's more likely the U.S. I'm going to actually go. I'm going to go Illinois.
Okay.
Just kind of dead center Illinois. How about east of Peoria, north of Bloomington?
All right, gotcha. I'm right there. I'll put you next to some lakes. All right, so this is how the round looks.
Okay.
So I feel like you're on the right track here for sure. You're gonna get decent points.
Yeah, I'm more comfortable with the hedge now because I'm not really feeling Iowa perchance. It could even be more north of Iowa. It could be like I could see a Minnesota here, just because all like these little lakes.
Yeah.
But I would say I think it's tough to to say for certain what state this would be if it is the U.S., which I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's USA as well. I would say like Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, maybe something in that range. But
Yeah, I would
do
be
think the
shocked
southern
here if it
ones
was
are...
North Dakota, but
Yeah.
I do think Minnesota or Wisconsin is
Right,
quite
right.
viable.
Right. But these more southern ones are also well possible. Missouri, Iowa, right through to over this direction as well. But yeah, I think Illinois is a good hedge here. So let's find out. Oh yeah, so what's North
It
Dakota?
was North. I'm literally blown away by that.
There
That's
we go.
really shocking to me.
Middle of nowhere. But I think that tarmac sealing is definitely that they did on the road is more common in the US for sure. So yeah, there you go.
Not bad.
Right thought process
I'm getting all
overall.
these big countries.
Yeah,
What's
you
up
are.
with that?
But every time you've been above 2k points, so that's
Yep.
definitely like right region each time is very solid.
Oh man, just having to open up my big mouth and say I'd be shocked if it were Dakota.
Well, you were shocked. That's all that happened. It's not the worst thing.
Yeah, I really didn't think that it would be.
Not to worry
There
though.
you go.
So shall we get into the last round here? You ready?
Sure.
All right. Last round here. Interesting one. Okay, so fairly dry climate this time, but we do have grass all around us as well. The grass
How's
is
the
quite...
grass? Is it like drier or green or?
It's relatively green but very short.
Okay.
We have... okay. We're driving left-hand side of the road. In the center of the road, we have a yellow, unbroken center line running along for quite a distance here.
Okay. I'm thinking one place already.
We see relatively few trees. And we do see some decent-sized hills in the background, actually. All the poles are wooden, and some of them are supported A-frame poles as well, but mostly freestanding. Most of the houses that we can see are single-story, and some of them are made of brick. In fact, I think most of them are made of a reddish brick. What else to say here? Can't make out the license plate very well. There are like there's like a little corrugated iron structure next to us. Not really sure what it would have been. Don't think it's a house, but maybe like something to keep animals in. I'm actually not sure what that is. You'll have to tell me what you think it is.
You said it's mountainous to some level?
Yeah, it is. There are mountains in the background, not super high, but mountains nonetheless, or at least tall hills. Tall hills, maybe is best to say. There are also, one other thing I'll mention is that there are these little warning signs, like there's some roadworks coming up here, and there are these little warning signs which are like tall rectangles with a yellow arrow and a black background, and they're like tall rectangles, okay, and they're right on the ground. Not really sure if that would help you, but maybe it would.
I sure think it sounds a lot like Thailand. But the lack of trees is kind of throwing me for a bit. Loop here. I'm trying to go through all the details. We're left side driving, solid unbroken yellow line.
White line. Did I say yellow?
White
I meant
line.
white. I meant white if I said yellow. Yeah.
I thought I heard yellow, but okay, so that's gonna change things, I think, considerably. Because now I'm thinking it's more likely to be. Am I still just thinking it's Southeast Asia because I heard single unbroken yellow line? Can you go through the details again?
Right. Okay. So barely any trees, at least in most of it, because we're in a very open area, so we can see like basically a full 180. I see barely any trees in most of it. Tallish hills. They kind of peak and then like they're kind of flat on top, like a lot of them. They don't have like a single peak.
How's the soil color? Can we get it? Can we?
Yeah. Soil color is kind of like the gravel next to us is kind of gray, and then there's also kind of like a yellowy, browny soil, mostly kind of just brownish, whitish kind of color. You know what I'm saying? But there was also like a slight reddish tinge to some of the soil in the background, but mostly just like neutral color. We've got like brick buildings mostly. we like have this green grass that's short, but the climate itself is relatively dry, I would say. Fairly agricultural here, or at least grazing pastures.
Any hedgerows about?
None.
See, so
as for
the
the
brick
sun,
was throwing me off so much for Thailand earlier.
Right.
I'm like, brick.
The sun,
but I was
the
trying
sun
to
is
think
not helpful.
the solid yellow line.
Yeah, the sun's not helpful.
Okay, I'm really thinking United Kingdom here. Because we got the brick, we got the white line, short grass, agricultural. I guess Ireland could fit as well. We don't know the plates for certain.
No, I can't quite make it out. Yeah, just trying to think. Like, there's definitely one of the buildings I'll say is round. Like a kind of
round
like,
building.
Yeah, like a I don't know, like it's kind of like an octagonal shaped building in the background. Although I can't make it out too well because it's got a round roof. Well, there's not too much else to say here. There's some clues I don't want to give you because I feel like they'd throw you off a bit, but
I'm just trying to. So
it does not feel very densely populated. Like, we're definitely heavily in the countryside here, and kind of feels like middle of nowhere kind of thing.
So let's go back to the road here for a second. Is it solid one single solid white line up the middle?
And we don't see any other road lines.
So none on the outside.
For that could the reason that there might normally be outer road lines here, but it's road works going on as well. So that's kind of don't trust the road lines too much potentially. I don't know.
And the soil's more of like, I hate this.
It's a difficult round. It is a difficult round.
I think New Zealand is a possibility with the description of the mountains. Or what could be mountains. I'm thinking like New Zealand or Scotland, maybe. I because of the soil color being more of like a gravelly, like brownish, blackish. You said whitish as well. Is that like a gravel type?
Yeah, there is quite a lot of gravel on the side of the road, and it was like a relatively dry climate in my estimation. Does not feel like it gets too much rainfall, at least here, even though there is grass everywhere.
Oh man, I'm gonna throw here so bad.
I'm interested.
I'm losing track of details.
Yeah, there's a lot of details here, but none
once
of them
again,
are
like
that
in
useful.
the earlier round, I'm gonna ask you, what are the three biggest details that stand out to you about this particular location?
So I'm gonna say the climate, the kind of like flattish, like kind of like quite bare looking hills, and then the houses that are made of like kind of reddish bricks. I'll say that's kind of like the three that like stand out to me. Maybe the wooden poles as well.
Wood pole. Who uses wood poles? I think I gotta go UK here.
All right. Whereabouts do you want to
go? Give me the Isle of Man hedge.
Isle of Man hedge? All right. Come over and look at it. You might not be too happy here.
No, I didn't even consider this continent.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had a different view of it.
Right. I mean, you can kind of like. It was hard for me to describe because there's nothing particularly African about it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I see why now. I do, because I mean, obviously, if you were to see the round, you'd never go New Zealand, you'd never go UK here.
Yeah,
you'd have to go South Africa.
Yeah.
I mean, those hills, they do look like what you'd find in like the area around in Lesotho.
Yeah.
Even though they're not like that drastic.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
I didn't like. There were certain things I was thinking of saying, like such as that it might be high altitude because like Lesotho is very high altitude. Kind of felt a bit high altitude, but I didn't want to say that because that might be a bit. It's kind of a bit, I don't know.
I think that's something that's like that's too opinion based.
Yeah. And also,
there's nothing like factual to back that.
Also,
up,
these trees kind of feel eucalypt, but I felt like you'd just go Australia if I said that, so that wasn't going to help too much either. And also that's kind of like an
you,
opinion thing
you
as well.
did say that you did describe the polls. I totally forgot, other than just wood, but that you did say the assisted,
Yeah, the
or whatever you
A-frame kind of
describe those.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
So we're thinking it's probably somewhere near Lesotho in South Africa here or around there.
Yeah, I'd probably go east to Lesotho here.
And there we go. In that region. How a bummer of an end, but still 11k is very solid, I would say.
Not horrible. Not at all. Especially with the size of the.
Yeah, it was a hard seed.
I mean, U.S. massive, Brazil massive. I mean, it was literally like the biggest country in every continent, pretty much, except for Indonesia, opposed to Philippines.
Yeah, but even still, Philippines is huge when you consider you can
large.
go from. I think these might be. Well, anyway, it's like from down here and then all the way up here. You can get coverage up here as well. So it's a massive country. That is huge. Like, it's not even that much smaller than Indo, because Indo coverage stops here. So, you know.
Yeah, it was definitely really fun, though. Oh, man. Yeah. That last round.
I enjoyed it a lot. I think you played very well.
Thank you. I'll take getting the country correct 3 out of 5 times.
3, yeah. 3 solid. 3 is definitely solid.
It's horrible.
Definitely
Consonant correct 4 or 5 times. One mighty throw.
One? But only one, and that's pretty good. Well, thank you very much for coming on the channel, Bengal. Most appreciated.
Absolute pleasure.
Guys, go check out the video we did over on his channel. It's just as fun, and you got to see the pictures I drew for him as well. So yeah, that's about it. And yeah, thanks very much for coming on, man.
Thank you.
Till the next video, guys. Bye-bye.